Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. If you want your life to change, if you're tired of going in circles, tired of being stuck, tired of waking up feeling like your feet are heavy with regret, you've got to take full responsibility. Where you are, nobody is coming to save you. Not your mama, not your boss, not your friends, and certainly not some miracle from the sky. You are responsible for your life, period. Now, I know that might not be easy to hear. Life throws some hard punches. Some of us started with less. Some of us were betrayed. Some of us were left. Some of us were handed a raw deal. That's real. But let me ask you, what are you going to do with it? Because what happens to you is not as important as what you do about it. You can't blame your parents forever. You can't keep pointing at the system, your ex, your past. At some point, you've got to stand up, look yourself in the mirror and say, it's on me. Not because you're the one to blame for everything, but because you're the one who has the power to change everything. You have more power than you realize. But as long as you keep giving it away to excuses, you're never going to move. As long as you think your life is someone else's fault, you've already lost. You've given away your fight. You've surrendered without even swinging. You want to win. You want to rise. You want to do something extraordinary with your life. Start with you. Fix your attitude. Fix your focus. Fix the way you speak to yourself. That voice in your head that says, I'm not good enough. I'll never make it. It's too late. You need to silence it. Rewrite the script. Because as long as you're waiting for someone else to fix your mess, you'll be waiting forever. You've got to decide that this is the day you change, not next week, not when it's convenient, not when it feels easy. Right now, you take control, you clean up your mess, you stop running from your truth, you stop making excuses for why you're not where you should be. The moment you take full responsibility for your life is the moment everything begins to shift. You stop reacting and start creating. You stop blaming and start building. That's when doors open. That's when favor finds you, not when you're perfect, but when you're accountable. So stand up, own your life, fix what's broken, heal what's hurt, and don't wait for applause. Do it because your future deserves it. Do it because your purpose demands it, and above all, do it because you were born with the power to transform your story. If only you'd stop handing that power away. Ease. Let me tell you something about ease. It feels good, doesn't it? That warm bed in the morning, that couch at the end of the day, the comfort of routine, the safety of doing just enough to get by. But here's the truth that most people don't want to hear. Ease is the silent killer of dreams. It whispers to you, you're fine where you are, when deep down, you know you were built for more. We don't grow when life is easy. We grow when life is hard. Diamonds don't come from comfort, they come from pressure. Steel is forged in fire, not in soft places. But most people spend their entire lives running from the very thing that could shape them into greatness, struggle. You say you want to be successful. You say you want to leave a legacy. Then you'd better stop chasing what feels good and start chasing what builds you. Because every time you choose comfort over challenge, you delay your purpose. Every time you choose the easy way out, you rob yourself of becoming who you were meant to be. I've seen it over and over. People with talent, people with potential, but no fire, no fight, because they've gotten used to playing it safe. Staying in the middle, not too high, not too low, just existing. But let me tell you something. Existing is not living. You weren't born to be average. You weren't created to blend in. But in order to stand out, you've got to be willing to do what others won't. You've got to be willing to get uncomfortable. Wake up earlier, push harder, stay disciplined when no one's watching. Do the work when there's no reward yet. That's what separates the great from the good. See, hardship is not your enemy. It's your ally. It's the weight that builds your strength, the storm that teaches you to stand. Every successful person you admire, every legend you quote, they've all walked through pain. They've all been broken down and had to build themselves back up. They didn't avoid the hard path, they embraced it. And here's the wild part: once you stop fearing discomfort, you start to rise, because discomfort means you're stretching. It means you're reaching beyond what you thought you could do, and when you live there on the edge of what's possible, that's where life opens up. You don't become great by avoiding the grind. You become great by learning to love it, by showing up day after day, rain or shine, and saying, "Let's go. I'm ready." Not because it's easy, but because it matters. So don't let ease lull you to sleep. Don't let comfort steal your calling. Get uncomfortable, stay uncomfortable, because that's where growth lives. That's where power is born. And that's where the real you, the strong, focused, unstoppable you, finally shows up. It's easy to walk around thinking the problem is out there, the job, the people, the government, the circumstances, but here's the truth you've got to swallow if you ever want to grow. It's not out there. It's in you. The battle you're fighting isn't external, it's internal, and until you win that battle, nothing around you is going to change. You can dress it up. You can smile in public and cry in private. You can chase money, fame, validation. Try to impress everybody in the room. But if you don't fix what's broken on the inside, none of it's going to matter. You'll still feel empty. You'll still be stuck, because real success starts within. I've seen people with everything on the outside: cars, clothes, the title, the followers, but inside chaos, insecurity, anger, fear. They've been running from themselves so long they don't even recognize who they are anymore. They thought changing their zip code would change their peace. They thought changing relationships would fix their loneliness. They thought more money would silence that little voice of doubt, but it doesn't work like that. You don't fix your life by running from your problems. You fix your life by facing them. You fix your life by dealing with the stuff you've buried deep, the pain, the trauma, the fear of not being enough. You've got to go there. You've got to look yourself in the mirror and be honest. I've got some work to do. You don't grow by pretending. You grow by confronting, by digging into the places that hurt, by asking the hard questions. Why am I really afraid? What am I hiding from? What habits are keeping me from becoming who I was born to be? Because until you get your mind right, your life will always feel wrong. You'll sabotage good things because you don't believe you deserve them. You'll push people away because you haven't healed from your past. You'll quit when it gets hard because your identity is built on sand, not stone. But when you do the work, when you start to fix your mindset, discipline your thoughts, clean out the lies you've been living under, everything begins to shift. You think clearer, you walk taller, you move with purpose instead of panic, and you stop reacting to life and start creating it. Look, you don't need the world to approve of you. You don't need everybody to understand your journey. What you need is to be at peace with yourself. What you need is to be rooted, solid, unshakable, not because life is easy, but because you've done the work on the inside. That's where greatness begins, not in the spotlight, not on the stage, but in the quiet, uncomfortable places where you decide to face yourself and fix what's been broken for too long. Because once you change in here, everything out there starts to follow. Everybody's waiting, waiting on the right time, waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for a sign, for motivation, for someone to give them permission to move. But let me tell you something, waiting is the dream killer. Waiting is how years pass by while nothing changes. Waiting is how potential dies in silence. You keep saying you'll do it tomorrow, next week, next year. But the clock is ticking, and life is not going to pause for your hesitation. You want to succeed. You want to rise. Then stop waiting and start working. You don't need another confirmation. You don't need another motivational quote or another person to believe in you. You've had enough inspiration. What you need now is action. What you need now is movement, discipline. Fire, not when the stars align, not when you feel ready, but right now, in the middle of your doubt, in the middle of your fear, in the middle of the chaos. Some of you are sitting around asking God for a breakthrough, but you haven't even stepped up to the plate. You haven't moved your feet. You haven't made the call. You haven't written the plan. You're praying for the harvest, but never planted the seed. You're begging for results without putting in the work. That's not faith. That's fantasy. Do something. Build something. Fix something. Try something. Fail if you have to, but at least move. Because the people who win in life are not the ones who had everything figured out from the beginning. They're the ones who started and kept going. They built as they climbed, they learned as they failed, and they never waited for the green light from someone else. You see, work is a form of faith. When you work towards something that hasn't happened yet, that's belief in motion. You say you believe in yourself. Show me. Prove it in your schedule. Prove it in your consistency. Prove it in how you show up even when it's hard, even when nobody's watching, even when nobody's clapping. You don't have to do it all today, but you've got to do something today. Because success is not one big decision, it's 1,000 small ones every day stacked on top of each other like bricks. And if you don't lay one down today, don't expect a house tomorrow. You keep saying, I'm waiting for the right time. The right time is a lie. The right time is now, not when you feel more confident, not when you have more money, not when your circumstances line up perfectly. The time you're given is this moment, right here, and if you waste it, you don't get it back. So stop waiting. The door you're waiting for might only open when you knock. The opportunity might only reveal itself once you step toward it. Life rewards the bold, the brave, the ones who stop talking and start doing. Discipline, that's the word most people run from, but it's the one that separates winners from quitters. See, everybody wants to succeed. Everybody wants the spotlight, the title, the rewards, but very few are willing to pay the price. And the price isn't always talent. It's not who you know, and it's not luck. The price is discipline. That quiet, consistent, daily grind that nobody sees but everyone eventually respects. You want a better life. You want a stronger mind. You want to break generational cycles and build something lasting. Then you better get serious about discipline. Not just when you feel good, not just when you're motivated every single day, even when you're tired, even when it's boring, even when no one's watching, especially when no one's watching. Discipline is doing the right thing when it's not exciting. It's choosing what's necessary over what's easy. It's saying no when everyone else says yes. It's waking up early when your body says sleep. It's going to the gym when your mind says rest. It's reading when you'd rather scroll. It's writing when you'd rather talk. It's praying, planning, preparing, pushing when the world says coast. Most people don't fail because they lack ability. They fail because they lack structure. They have dreams with no plan, talent with no routine, potential with no practice. Let me tell you, potential without discipline is just wasted possibility. Discipline turns vision into results. It turns good intentions into great outcomes. You don't build greatness in a day. You build it in the small, unglamorous daily decisions, making your bed, showing up on time, finishing what you start, keeping your word, following through even when you're not in the mood. That's how champions are made. Not when they perform, but in the shadows, in the silence, in the repetition. Stop chasing quick fixes. Stop looking for shortcuts. The shortcut is the long road done right. The shortcut is consistency. It's doing what needs to be done every time until it becomes who you are. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your discipline. You see, the enemy of your destiny is not distraction. It's inconsistency. You show up strong on Monday and quit by Thursday. You get excited for a week, then disappear for a month. That's not how success works. Discipline is boring, but it's what builds legacies. The world doesn't owe you anything. Nobody's going to hand you the dream. But if you're willing to wake up every day and earn it, brick by brick, step by step, choice by choice, then there's no force on this earth that can stop you. Not because you're lucky, not because you're special, but because you're disciplined. So if you want to build something that lasts, something you're proud of, don't start with talent. Start with habits. Start with consistency. Start with discipline. That's where destiny begins. When you fix yourself, everything else begins to change. The world doesn't change first. The people around you don't change first. Your situation, your finances, your relationships, they don't magically get better until you do. Change doesn't start on the outside. It starts on the inside. It starts with how you think, how you move, how you respond, how you carry yourself when nobody's applauding. You want better, be better. You want more peace, create it. You want more respect, earn it. You want love, success, clarity, purpose. Start within, because when you shift internally, your energy changes. Your choices change. Your direction changes. And the universe, God, life, however you want to call it, begins to respond to that shift. You can't fake this. You can't talk your way into transformation. You can't post your way into purpose. You've got to go through the process. And that process always begins with you, not with fixing other people, not with waiting for them to treat you better, not with blaming the world, but by looking in the mirror and taking full ownership. Fix your heart. Fix your mindset. Fix the way you speak life or death over your own future. The minute you stop trying to fix everything out there and start dealing with what's broken in here, that's when power shows up. That's when you start making better decisions. That's when you stop settling. That's when you start attracting what you deserve instead of tolerating what you fear. You see, we like to think success is external, but true success, lasting success, flows from the inside out. You want to lead. Lead yourself. You want to influence others. First, influence your own thoughts. You want to change the room when you walk into it. Then change the atmosphere within you first. Your energy doesn't lie. If you're still bitter, people feel it. If you're still broken, it spills into your words. If you're still insecure, It shows in how you carry yourself. You don't need to tell people who you are. If you've done the work, they'll know. If you've healed, grown, transformed, they'll feel it before you say a word. And here's the truth. When you fix yourself, you don't just change your own life. You give other people permission to fix theirs. Your growth becomes a light. Your discipline becomes contagious. Your transformation becomes inspiration. You become a living testimony that change is possible, but you've got to go first. You've got to be the one who says, "It stops with me." The excuses, the pain, the fear, the patterns, you break them not just for you, but for everyone connected to you. Because when you rise, you lift others with you. So stop waiting for the world to get better. Be the shift. Be the change. Be the standard. Fix yourself. And watch how everything else begins to align, because the breakthrough you're praying for, it's already in you. It's been waiting on you to wake up and do the work.